Hi, I'm Jennell Evans, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you about something that I've titled How to Boost Your Mental Immunity to Manage Anxiety and Live Fully During Times of Uncertainty. And I'm recording this on July 15th, 2020, and we are certainly in what I would call times of uncertainty and also continuous change. Every day seems to be a new sort of directive about how we're supposed to function during this extraordinarily stressful time. I was talking to a friend the other day about this, and this is a person I've known for a long time and very optimistic, very intelligent, and she was sharing with me how all of a sudden she was really feeling that she was catching the emotions of other people, and she didn't like how it was making her feel, and she was very aware of it, really didn't know what to do about it, but that she felt there was so much more negative energy and tension just in her going about running errands and doing all the social distancing and wearing a mask and keeping herself safe, but at the same time really feeling this negativity, and it was making her feel negative and anxious and just on edge all the time. And I paused and I said, I can relate to that. I'm a person that works on managing my mind a lot, but I'm also a human, as everyone is, and we're going to have those moments. And I think particularly right now, as we enter month 5 of this global pandemic, we're going to see more and more of sort of the less of a filter with people as they go about their day-to-day, because I think people are fatigued and they really want some answers, and they want things to somehow resort back to what we knew that felt more normal back in early January before things really started going in a different direction in mid-February. So here we are, month 5. And this all began like mid-February when a global pandemic, that's the time frame I remember, was declared, right? And so now our anxiety levels with massively increased COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and everything are happening. That and feeling like our economy is sort of teetering on the edge. And we also have a lot of emotion around something that actually is a good thing, in that I'm speaking to sort of the awakenings around eradicating racism in our country. I mean, from individuals to groups to corporations, are taking, a stand and saying no more. We're coming together to do everything in our power to eliminate racism. And that's a really great thing. And it's also emotional. We don't really have a playbook for how we want to get from where we are today to where we want to be in the future on all of these things. So that creates that not knowing how we're going to do it, I think really adds to the anxiety. And just those 3 things I mentioned, just one of them would create an extraordinary level of anxiety or emotionality is the word I really want to say in our world, right? And I want to think that we're all doing our best to manage everything that is happening right now. It's just a lot, but also I know that if we are feeling negative, that we can easily spread that to another person or in our social media post. And we don't want to spread it, nor do we want to catch it necessarily. The news is just a tremendous source, right, of negativity, because that's what sells and that's what keeps people watching and clicking and so forth. But it has to focus on a lot of the negative updates that news people are trying to share with us, and that causes our brains to go into overdrive to protect us. Hence the tension, the fear, the emotions that are on the lower energy scale that just kind of lock us up and keep us paralyzed, both mentally and emotionally. And that's really, our brains are just trying to protect us. So that's all that is. Like from scare predictions about what the impacts are of this virus. And on top of that, every day we are hearing these horrific stories of people, all ages, succumbing to this virus, people losing their lives, not being able to say goodbye to their loved ones in person. Even companies that have been profitable for 100 years are going out of business, just again, sort of a catastrophic loss, like the loss of lives, the loss of vibrant businesses. Schools may not reopen in the fall, unemployment rates skyrocketing, peaceful protesters being attacked, people working from home, really reticent about going back into the office. They're not feeling particularly safe about it. That's certainly what I've heard from some of my clients. And then parents who are working, just completely overwhelmed with the thought that, oh my gosh, here comes fall and we're going to have to go right back to homeschooling and working and trying to be a valuable contributor to our companies. That is a lot. And feeling like we're kind of defenseless to catching all this negativity, I think can really put us in a tailspin of helplessness and indecisiveness and sort of misery every day if we allow it to happen. Because, do we really want to be held hostage by anxiety and fear, overwhelm, and any other negative emotions? No, we don't, because having a fear-based mindset does not serve us in any way whatsoever. And it only focuses on what's wrong versus all that is still right. If we look beyond some of those things I just mentioned, and there'll be a lot of things that we can still be grateful for and that we can still see in a positive light. So a fear-based mindset also really disables our own ability to be in charge of our emotional home. And we must own that. We can own it because we control our thoughts. What we think affects our feelings, right? So we are in charge of that. Now, while feeling fearful and anxious would certainly be considered normal responses to some of these things that are going on right now, our current reality, I think our call to action has to be for ourselves that we intentionally acknowledge when we are experiencing things like fear and sadness and uncertainty and overwhelm and all of that. Acknowledge it, but then choose how we really want to feel. Because those are just our brain trying to protect us, creating those feelings and trying to keep us safe. But we can pause, look at it, observe it, and say, okay, I don't want to feel that way. And now I'm going to do something to change my state and be intentional about moving towards neutral and higher emotional states so that I can optimize, be productive, take care of myself and my family. We don't have to catch the negative virus that some people enjoy spreading. The news sometimes is all about spreading. And of course, social media, where people feel sometimes they don't have to use a filter and just can say anything they want, right? So we have to just first be aware of what is happening to us. And I think that's what my friend was saying the other day, that, I'm just aware of it now, that it's affecting me and my outlook on life. And that we can control. So we just first have to be aware, and then we can decide to change our state. And that's where building our mental immunity begins. Self-awareness about what is happening for us, what are we feeling, what's going on, and then being able to decide to take action to change those feelings, to put ourselves in a higher, more productive emotional state. And we can do it. So understand that all those negative emotions are happening to protect us. Again, it's just our brain going into overdrive, scanning to make sure that we're safe, right? Because they're perceiving some kind of danger from all that negativity. But we don't have to get caught up in what I call catastrophic thinking. And I think that is what's happening right now for a lot of us. We're tired. It's month 5. Okay, so let's just reset the button here and decide we're not going to do that. We're not going to fall victim to that. We're trained as kids. I was thinking about this in preparing. As children, we're really not trained to really, be comfortable with any negative emotion. I remember my parents saying, just be happy, go play, feel joyful. All of that was really encouraged. But if there was any kind of negative, if I was upset about something, it was the quick remedy to try to shift me to something positive. Oh, don't cry, be happy. It's not that bad, just feel happy, right? So we're not trained to just be comfortable with, just for a short term, of our negative feelings, but they're real and they're a natural response to what's happening. So here's the thing. What we're feeling does not identify us or put a value on us. It doesn't have to be our whole, identity. We just can observe these feelings, decide if we want to keep feeling anxious, sad, fearful, whatever, or overwhelmed, and then choose to change our feelings to more positive things like gratitude and joy and happiness and what it is that we want to feel. If we just want to be neutral, that's okay too. But to get ourselves out of that negative space, because that does not serve us, we can't make good decisions when we're marinating in fear. So it's really important to our emotional health that we know this and that we do something about it the next time we do feel these feelings coming over us, right? So it's our ability to face those negative feelings that we're not trained to do, and kind of talk back to those negative feelings. Say, okay, negative feelings, I see you, I feel you, and now I'm going to say goodbye. If we're able to do that, then that lessens the disempowering effect that they have on us. So here's what I would suggest. The next time you're feeling off or low, or just like, I don't like how all this is impacting me, I feel negative and I don't like to feel that way, just ask yourself, are you feeling anxious and afraid, based on facts, like you need to protect yourself and keep yourself safe? Or is it just coming from a place of imagining the worst case scenario? Or are you just watching too much negative news and that's just taking over a lot of your thoughts in your brain? So just pause and ask yourself, what are you dwelling on? Something that you really need to protect yourself from, or, something that you're just kind of creating in your mind. As I said, our feelings come from our thoughts. If we don't like the way we're feeling, this is yucky to feel down and kind of sad and afraid, then we can choose to change our thoughts, and that is going to change our feelings. We're going to focus on what's right versus what's wrong. And I think one of the best things that we can do is to first believe that we can overpower our feelings and lessen the emotional tension. And we begin to do this by being more present about what we are feeling, not denying, being more present with it, more engaged in the moments of our lives, and it being engaged with whatever it is that we're feeling. And once we're able to be more mindful of what we're feeling and why, then we can move forward with intentional action to change our emotional state and be more positive, which then helps us be more productive. So why is this important? I can tell you that life has not gotten any longer since all of these things that have created our reality today have been happening. It hasn't gotten any longer. So we are facing just, catastrophic things here that we are all trying to manage, and life is still very short. So I believe we need to increase our mental immunity as much as possible so that we can enjoy our lives while we're trying to manage all these things, right? We need to make memories. We need to be able to look back at this time and say to ourselves, we didn't fall victim to all of the gloom and doom. We were resilient. We were able to manage our emotions, and we were able to get through it because we didn't deny the things that didn't feel as good, but we just didn't sit with those negative feelings and let them control us and disempower us, right? I believe this is a time that we can all be reflecting actually on what is it we want in our lives, our goals and our dreams, and have that to look forward to when we move, particularly with the pandemic, when we're on the other side of this, when there is a vaccine, when we feel like we're safe going out again. Let's focus on the stuff that we want now and look forward to that. So when that time comes, then we can have our dreams even sooner and we can achieve our goals even faster because we chose to direct our energy in a positive direction and focus on possibilities versus doom and gloom. All right, so, and all of that will bring you more joy, fulfillment, and freedom in your future. And I don't know about you, but I think that's what it's all about. We've got to constantly find it. We might have to dig deeper right now, but that's okay. It's all there and it's all doable. So I'd like to close my share with you with a quote. It's anonymous, so I can't give any credit to who wrote this quote. And here it is. Cherish your yesterdays, dream your tomorrows, and live your todays. And I think that's a very appropriate mantra for our times right now. So if you'd like to speak with me more about mental immunity and share your thoughts with me, I welcome you to go to my website. It's just jennellevans.com, and that's JENNELL.com. And there's a place there you can send me a message. It's very easy to find, and we can continue the conversation. Thank you.